What's up, everybody? Turn God Possibilities here, back again to you. What if Asta was trained by Goku? Part 28? I'm pretty sure? Yeah. Now, before I get to the recap, I'm gonna, here, let me explain a few things and apologize. I'm sorry for not uploading for a while now. Some personal family issues keep popping up, and a tiny bit of me being a little lazy. But with that, but yeah. But now I'm going to upload at least every other day, or at least try to. So yeah. Also, you'll see in the video that I have a new thumbnail for this. An updated version of this, of my thumbnail. Thanks to one of my thumbnail artists, which he has his own channel, which will be in which a link to it will be in the description below. So yeah. With that, let's get to the recap. Last time I left off, the Wizard King, just like in canon, used that spell to rewind time to the point where he gets impaled by Potri slash Lit slash Potri's light magic sword. So yeah, and right after that, right when that happened, Yami appeared and saw the whole thing. He was enraged and goes charging at Lit as he rummages through the Wizard King's corpse and takes the magic stones, which he did wound Lit slash Potri before he left. And that's pretty much it for the recap. Let's get to the video, starting now. As we change our perspective back to Asta, with right in the middle of Meliona and Raya's fight. Asta turns his head around, turns his head back, looking at a certain direction, feeling huge spike in power, which he closes his eyes to focus in on that direction, sensing Yami's ki spiking, and he sensed two other energies there. One feels familiar, while the other is somewhat familiar, but not as much as the other. He senses on the one that's very familiar as it's fading away. Right as he finally noticed, as he was trying to focus in, he says, What are you doing, What's going on, Captain Yami?" Which Cool Mask Guy heard this and asked, "What are you talking about?" Asta doesn't reply as he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. He finally realized who that is, whose ki's fading very fast. And sweat drops. Asta gets a sweat drop. Thinking to him, not saying it out loud, but thinking, that's the Wizard King. No, that can't be. He turns his head and looks back at the Meliona, keeping this information to himself, not to throw her off or disrupt anything. He just keeps it to himself. And just prays that the Captain Yami will take care of this. Take care of it. Since his... So, yeah. He pretty much shakes this off and just focuses back on Meliona. As that's happening, just like in canon, Meliona is beating down on Raya. And about to do the finishing blow. Release the finishing blow, but then as she's about to, the reincarnation magic happens, turning most of his hair white and somewhat healing all of his injuries, as well as replenishing that guy's magic. with him smiling and laughing. Well, smiling, smugly saying, "You're too late." As he says this, the other reincarnated elves who were actually, which as Asta and Meliona and Cool Mask guys see, it's their own teammates, their own squad, their own allies from the other squads, or, well, Royal Knights thing. Which, to try to figure out what the hell, what the hell's going on, they say they don't know them. And that's when Meliona, while knowing Asta's true combat capabilities and power, she grabs both him and Cool Mask Guy, which I keep forgetting his name, tosses both of them to the exit and destroys it. And that's when she gets into her battle position with a battle-crazed grin, saying, "This is gonna be fun, time to hunt," or something like that, like she usually does. Now we change to Asta and Cool Mask Guy's perspective, trying to figure out. Asta saying we can't leave her behind, and Cool Mask Guy thinks, no, we gotta go, because he knows Asta can't sense their magic, and it's just like Kenny tries to convince Asta we gotta go. Asta actually does the convincing, saying he has a plan, and waits for the perfect moment. As the reincarnated elves use their strongest, most powerful spell, about to release it on the wounded Meliona. As they're about to fire it, Asta and Cool Mask Guy appear right in front of her, and he uses his trap magic spell that absorbs the opponent's magic attacks and reflects it right back at him. Double the power and everything. As they fire their most powerful attack, it gets absorbed into the trap magic spell. Right before it's actually fired, Asta floats up right above that spell and gets into the pose we all know, and he gets all the reincarnated elves' attention, and yells, "Solar Flare!" Blinding all of them, blinding every single one of them, even Raya. But as Raya gets blinded, he instinctively uses a spatial magic portal spell and gets out of there, as everyone's spells gets reflected right back at them, knocking them out and destroying the area, or pretty much destroys the floor below them, which all of them are falling. Asta grabs the unconscious Meliona, and Cool Mask Guy says, "I didn't know you had that kind of thing, that kind of ability in your grimoire." Asta tells him, "I don't have it in my grimoire. It's a technique that I learned from my master, that anyone can use." Then Cool Mask says, "So it's a technique anyone can use?" Asta says, "Yes, but anyone can learn it if they put in the right kind of training." But after they finish that conversation, Raya appears behind Asta as they're falling and grabs him and about to pull him in, with Asta tossing the unconscious Meliona at Cool Mask Guy, saying he'll be back. Looks like he has to deal with this. I'll be back in about a couple minutes or so. So yeah, as Raya pulls Asta into the portal, they disappear, and reappearing with a portal reappearing over the chamber that holds Lit and the other reincarnated elves, with a crucifix, iron crucifix, Mosa, with her on the iron crucifix, just like in canon. Yuno's in daze, just standing there as the reincarnation magic affected him, but he's just in a daze. Asta struggles with Raya, with him somewhat falling out of the spatial magic portal but landing on both his feet, with him then yelling, "You're not gonna do whatever." And Raya says, "Stop struggling." But then he appears, Asta, just like in canon, but he pulls out he assesses the situation, pulling out his anti-magic sword, destroying the iron crucifix. The other reincarnated elves, including Four Eyes, which I keep forgetting his name, Asta tries to snap him out of it by yelling at everyone, but nothing's working. He keeps evading their attacks, which he easily evades all their attacks. Then he notices Yuno and yells at him, screaming at him, saying, "Wake up, Yuno! I know you're my rival. You can't be affected. I forbid it, you being affected by this spell, for you to be held back by this reincarnation magic." Which snaps him out of it, which Raya is surprised that he's in control of himself, even getting the magic. Just like in canon, he's surprised on how Yuno's still conscious, even while he still has the boost from the reincarnation magic while being turned into an elf. So yeah. And the two with Four Eyes and the guy who has ice magic use a combination spell, that fortress thing, and both Asta and Yuno destroy it one blow. Raya is somewhat scared and shocked by this, but then he sees Lit reacted to it. He starts floating down and reaches for a sword, which Asta and Yuno notice, and Asta notices the sword he's reaching for. It's black, looks similar to his anti-magic swords. And as he's doing that, he pulls out his other sword, the Demon Dweller sword. And as that happens, Lit grabs the sword and turns it into white, and right in an instant, he disappears from both Asta and Yuno's line of sight and their sensory range. More like they can't sense him. They can sense him, but at the same time not. Just like in canon, they both give the same information, but Asta, he can tell that his pretty much gives him thinks in his head the same thing, just like Yuno, but replaced magic with ki. And as that happens, he takes but he doesn't just think that, he also feels that this guy's half asleep, but can feel a hesitation from him. He doesn't know what the hell's going on, and why this guy would have his ki would feel hesitant, or more like sad, or he doesn't know exactly. But yeah, as Lit takes the Demon Dweller sword out of Asta's hand, turning it white, and does a downward slash, separating both Asta and Yuno. Asta is somewhat in a suppressed state. He's suppressing himself, then goes into his demon black form. It starts with both Asta and Yuno. They attack just like in canon, combat Lit, but it's somewhat even compared to canon. Both of them go through the entire hideout, somewhat everywhere, and just like somewhat just like in canon, he knocks Asta into that pool, in that pool of water, or whatever, lake, or whatever it was. Asta uses this moment to transform out of his black form, deactivate his black form, and concentrates. Yeah, with him having a plan, with us, with still fighting Lit. It goes on just like canon, leading up into out of the floating rock base. Fighting Lit. He somewhat does the same thing just like in canon, but with the about to use the monozone thing, with Raya sensing this and thinks just like same thing just like canon, with thinking the same things that fire chick did, and says, "Watch out, Lit." But Lit shrugs it off, and the half-awake Lit shrugs it off and absorbs the attack with the Demon Dweller sword. But as he does that, while he's doing that, Asta appears right in front of with a Kamehameha and unleashes it straight at Lit. He uses the Demon Destroyer sword and floods it with a lot of his own magic, trying to block the Kamehameha. But as he does that, Lit loses his grip of Demon Destroyer sword, with the Kamehameha knocking it out of his hand. And as that happens, as the Kamehameha dissipates, the Demon Destroyer sword falls from the sky straight to Asta. As Asta sees this, he grabs it, but as he does, Lit unleashes all the magic he absorbed from unleashing it straight at Asta and Yuno. And that's it for the video, guys. Hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, there's a link down to my Discord in the description, and a link to my one of my thumbnail artists' YouTube channel. He's almost at, if I remember correctly, he's almost at 1,000 subscribers, so will you help him out and get him there? So yeah. With that, I'll see you guys, or talk to you guys tomorrow, or later. Bye.